Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. You are watching UBC TV. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. It's a cold Wednesday morning, one that started off with light showers. But hopefully you are able to wake up and start your day. Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono and myself are here to make sure that you start your day inspired and informed at the same time. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has appointed Lino Anguzu, the new Director of Public Prosecutions. Anguzu, who has been serving as Assistant DPP, replaces Justice Jane Francis Abodo, who was recently appointed Judicial Principal Judge. A communication from the Senior Presidential Press Secretary, Sando Walusimbi, the President has forwarded Anguzu's name to Parliament's Appointments Committee for vetting and approval. Once approved, Anguzu will assume leadership of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the body mandated to direct, control and supervise criminal prosecutions on behalf of State House. Now, moving on to East Africa, that is the rest of East Africa. Tanzania has the polls today. Tanzania will vote today in an election that President Samia Suluhu Hassan is expected to win after candidates from the two leading opposition parties were barred from standing. In addition to the presidential election, voters will choose members of the country's 400-seat parliament and a president and lawmakers in the semi-autonomous Zanzibar archipelago. Now, the presidential vote will be held without the leading opposition party, Chadema, whose leader Tundu Lissu is on trial for treason charges he denies. The Electoral Commission disqualified Chadema in April after it refused to sign an electoral code of conduct. The commission also disqualified Luhaga Mpina, the candidate for the second largest opposition party, ACT Wazalendo, after an objection from the Attorney General, leaving only candidates from minor parties taking on Hassan. Hassan's CCM, whose predecessor party led the struggle for independence for mainland Tanzania in the 1950s, has dominated national politics since its founding in 1977. The Election Commission says it will announce the results within 3 days from Election Day, and the polls open at 4:00 GMT and close at 1300 GMT. Hassan, whose posters dominate towns and villages, has been traversing the country of around 68 million people, and she has boasted about expanding road and railway networks and increasing power generation capacity. In her next term, she has promised to prioritize hiring more teachers, and Hassan won plaudits after coming to power in 2021 for easing repression of political opponents and censorship that proliferated under her predecessor John Magufuli, who died in office. In fact, Tanzanians believe that this election is more of, it's not really a contest, it's just a coronation in their words, and that is a report according to the BBC. But in other stories, the hotel where National Unity Platform presidential candidate Mr. Robert Chagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, where he's staying in Lira City, was raided by security forces. Tembo Trek Courts, located in Lira City, West Division, was surrounded by military and police officers who reportedly broke into several rooms and pepper sprayed occupants, including hotel staff and Mr. Chagulanyi. And according to sources inside the hotel, the security personnel began the raid at around 9:30 p.m. This particular story is as of the Daily Monitor, and of course on all social media platforms, it's quite a story that's on the streets of the netizens in Uganda. But good morning. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. I'm not alone. Like I mentioned earlier, I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for choosing to wake up with us this morning. Now, Tanzanian today will go to the polls, the Tanzanians. My question is, this is a race where no one is chasing. So should we call that a race? Is there any competition in this world? But, of course, these are issues of Tanzanians. I've taken long to hear of a presidential election where someone has no competitor. I've taken long.
Well, there are competitors, but they're just rather weak parties.
We are saying the strong ones because
Yes,
if
there's
Chadema is not in this election.
Definitely, so there is no strong opposition.
And if you look at, so it's like, well, I don't want to talk about my country in that way, but of course there are people you would know that if they're the ones that were racing against the incumbent, it would be victory obvious. I don't see anywhere where Samia Suluhu can lose this election. I don't see it anywhere, and I doubt if the competitors, not to undermine the mean match in this competition.
Indeed, that's why the narrative.
If Chadema had a candidate, if ACT had a candidate there, you would say yes, this is a race.
Indeed.
But it is the Tanzanians, and we pray for peace and successful elections.
Indeed.
Also yesterday, we had a Victoria University host there and held their 9th graduation ceremony at Speak Resort Munyonyo. And for me, one of the highlights was the All-Star song tribute to Rajiv Ruparelia. The Stars came with a song tribute to Rajiv Ruparelia. We saw Papa Sudhu Ruparelia was there, the Chancellor of Victoria University, Professor Lawrence Muganga. So many dignitaries were at that function. But that song, the moment how everyone kept quiet, and you would feel the legacy. You would see the legacy of Rajiv Ruparelia take possession of the room at that moment. We'll continue to pray for the family. Of course, every time these things happen, of course, the memories come back.
Definitely.
That the Lord may continue strengthening them. Of course, candidates are still moving around, promising this and that, and we continue to thank and urge Ugandans to remain very peaceful, and security agencies also. You know, let's promote peace. Let's promote calm. Let's avoid incidents of provocation by both the security forces sometimes and also the electorate. Yesterday I saw a clip where someone was pushing the head of a police officer.
Oh.
You know, and that is from some camp, a prominent music producer. He pushed the head of this police officer holding a gun. I saw another incident where a young man holding stones threw to a police officer who has a gun. Now, us also the electorate, let's refrain from acts of provocation. Security, let's also, I know you have to be professional, but there are certain things that I think at such a time that we are in as a country, if we can avoid them and still life continues, let it be. I've seen areas where they have blocked the NUP candidate, but then thereafter, police withdraws. I may not have the details why they then later withdraw, because they are the professionals in that field, but you see that in case they engaged or persisted, things would not have been that very good. I've seen also these people also. So we want to move like that, so that these prophets of doom who used to say after the primaries we had with NRM, wait for what is going to happen during campaigns, we pray that these things do not happen. But it takes you, me on this TV set, what I speak, you what you speak, how you handle yourself, how each Ugandan presents and thinks of this country at such a time, to have peaceful campaigns that will transit into peaceful elections.
Right, very true indeed. Meanwhile, the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, in partnership with the Uganda Police, did shut down a mini factory operating illegally on the rooftop of Naiga Plaza in Chikubo after discovering large quantities of counterfeit paint disguised as popular brands.
But also those people don't fear. On the rooftop of Chikubo.
Yes, on the rooftop.
And you're doing such.
That's why they're saying that Uganda, Chinyuma. Lots of things happen.
If they're in some suburb very far, but in the city and you're counterfeiting. Prominent brands, by the way.
Anyways, let's move ahead with what we have on the local scene. Interesting, speaking of counterfeits, there's even a story going around of how the gin-nuts we see being sold on the streets are prepared by acid. But anyways, what do we have on the local scene?
Well, let me begin with a campaign trail. President Yoweri Museveni in Amdat. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni assured the Pokot people of Amdat district that victims of cattle rustling by the Turkana from Kenya will receive compensation after the elections. Speaking during his campaign in Amdat, Museveni said he had reached an agreement with the Kenyan President William Ruto, holding the Kenyan government responsible for reimbursing the affected Pokot families. During his campaign rally at Kalas Girls Primary School playground, Museveni presented his manifesto to the residents, emphasizing support for the district heavily reliant on cattle rearing. He promised the construction of water dams to support livestock and encouraged the community to take advantage of existing peace by engaging in income-generating activities to reduce poverty. Additionally, he pledged included upgrading and equipping health facilities, providing free education, constructing more schools, and maintaining stability in the region. Local leaders expressed gratitude to Museveni for facilitating the resettlement of the Pokot people, whose population has grown to over 23,000 after fleeing to Kenya during periods of insecurity and cattle raids. Museveni was warmly received by senior NRM leaders, ministers, and district officials, all optimistic by the party's victory in the upcoming election. The National Unity Platform, NUP President and Presidential Flag Bearer Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has campaigned in Albertong and Otuke district in Lango sub-region to seek support ahead of the 2026 general elections. In his message, Kyagulanyi promised to build modern roads, improve social services, and promote development for all Ugandans once elected president. Allied for National Transformation presidential candidate General Mugisha Muntu campaigned in Tororo Rwenzori sub-region is gaining grounds with growing support for his message of integrity, good governance, and improved service delivery. While addressing rallies in Bunyangabu and in Toroko district, Muntu emphasized the need for better infrastructure. That is the president for the Alliance for National Transformation, General Mugisha Muntu, retired. President Yoweri Museveni has expressed his condolences to the family, friends, and faithful of the late Bishop of Jinja Diocese, Right Reverend Charles Martin Wamika, who was laid to rest at St. Joseph's Cathedral, Jinja. The condolence was delivered by the third Deputy Prime Minister, Hajjat Rukia Nakadama Isanga. Through Hajjat Isanga Nakadama, Museveni praised Bishop Wamika's spiritual service and diocese contribution. He urged Christians and all Ugandans to continue supporting government programs that provide livelihood. Metropolitan Archbishop Right Reverend Emmanuel Obowu laid the burial honoring honoring the bishop's dedicated service. The chief mourner, Justin Lumumba, urged Christians to emulate his humility, while Caroline Kiwala thanked the president and the church leaders for their support. Obwachabazinga Bwabusoga, Professor Joseph Muvawala called on Christians to give back to the church. Bishop Wamika led since 2010 and died at the age of 72, leaving a lasting legacy. Finally, on the local scene, the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, resolved the standoff between landlords and tenants in Kampala's Central Business District following President Museveni's directive to allow traders resume normal business. The emergency meeting at the office of the Prime Minister agreed that tenants will continue paying rent at current approved rates until the 2026-2027 financial year. The landlord, Godfrey Chirumira and Tom Chitandwe, pledged to maintain dialogue with the tenants to avoid future clashes. The meeting also reinstated the Sunday Hawkers Day to support small traders. Minister for Kampala, Mr. Kabanda, and Mayor Salim Uhuru hailed the meeting as successful. Traders representatives John Kabanda and Edward Ntale thanked the government for its swift response. A subcommittee chaired by KCCA's Benon Kigenyi was formed to oversee implementation and address pending issues like electricity payments, with a progress report expected by 11th of November this year. Now that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let my counterpart take us through what the rest of the world has for us.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Robert. And U.S. President Donald Trump headed for South Korea on Wednesday, where a key meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping could produce a truce in the blistering trade war between the world's two largest economies. Trump's two-day visit to key U.S. ally South Korea is the third leg of a trip to Asia that has seen him lauded at a regional summit in Malaysia and flattered as a peacemaker by Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. But the eyes of the world and of global markets will be on a meeting set for Thursday, the first time in 6 years Trump sits down with Xi. It could determine whether the United States and China can halt a trade war that has sent international supply chains into panic. Negotiators from Beijing and Washington have both confirmed a framework has been agreed. It's now up to Trump and Xi, who will meet on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in the city of Zhengzhou to nail it down. William Yang, an analyst at the International Crisis Group, said, however, that there appeared to be a mismatch in expectations. Now, looking at other stories, Brazilian military and police forces carried out a major operation in Rio de Janeiro on Tuesday morning against drug trafficking and organized crime, resulting in at least 64 deaths and 81 arrests. 2,500 police officers were deployed for special operation described as the deadliest in the history of this Brazilian city, initially focusing on capturing members of the criminal gang Comando Vermelho. Footage shows the officers in action during the operation and the operation's consequences on the streets of Rio de Janeiro, causing confusion among residents on their way to return home. Rio de Janeiro was taken by the bandits. We are in a state of emergency and we are trying to get home, leaving work early, commented Adailton. Local street blockades made up of buses were reported in several areas, including Madureira, where more than 10 buses were hijacked, according to local media. It's total chaos, people invading, people dying. So scary, said Leticia, a resident of Rio de Janeiro, and no official statement of emergency has been declared, but the government has strengthened security measures and called extraordinary meetings to coordinate actions and assess the situation. Now let's come to the continent. At least 14 people were reported dead after a devastating fire ignited and ravaged a neighborhood in M23-controlled Bukavu on Sunday. Footage captured on Monday shows the aftermath of the disaster, with people watching the rubble from collapsed houses as families grieve their beloved ones. Meanwhile, Red Cross workers and local volunteers carry bags containing the bodies of victims for identification. We are already asleep. By surprise, the house started to catch fire. It was revealed that we did our best to save it. It was a serious matter. We were trying to save the house without knowing if there were people inside, shared a neighbor of the victims. According to the local authorities, 14 people have been found dead as a result of the fire. Most of them were women and children. The fire broke out near a multi-story building and the cause of the fire is still unknown. Investigations are ongoing. It was the stairs that first started to take shape, and the rest, where the fire came from, we don't know, stated Rin Bolikoliko, deputy mayor of the Kadutu commune. Now that brings us to the end of what we have on the foreign scene. Let's have a look at what the dailies have today. Robert.
Looking at the New Vision this morning, Anguzu new DPP. That's the picture of the new Director of Public Prosecution. Now Chagulanyi promises to improve roads in Albertong. And here we have police foil another raid in City Arcade. The New Vision, and sloping down we see a sea of people who gathered at Museveni campaigns in Amdat district. That is a picture there. That is Albertung, where the president, Amdat, where the president was canvassing for votes. And of course, in the totals, dedication for P7. Apparently, they are hugging, I think, wishing their best as they hand them over to the Lord as they prepare for their exams. Now, Julie, let's look at what Tanzania has and Kenya.
Yes, indeed. Before we look at what Tanzania and Kenya have, there is a hurricane, especially if you have relatives in Cuba or Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa that hit Jamaica and landed it into floods, and it's on its way to Cuba. We continue to pray for areas that side, but yes, it's not good news coming from there. Well, now let's start with the Daily Nation. Rather, the Citizen, actually. Where? All right, let's start with the Daily Nation. As is, Samia eyes history. That is the headline there of the Daily Nation. Samia eyes history as Tanzania votes. And ESCC recovers 2.8 billion Karura land allocated to JJ Kamoto. And MPs question Ruto's 1.5 trillion shillings infrastructure fund plan. Also, trip to Masai Mara luxury camp ends in tragedy for tourists pilots. That's a picture there as well. Sad story indeed. Now, a quick look at what we have in the Citizen. The headline there is Day of Truth. After 2 months of vigorous campaigns across the country, Tanzanians head to polling stations today in elections that will determine the nation's political and socio-economic trajectory for the next 5 years. Do's and don'ts as Tanzanians head to the polls today. Also, Zanzibar early voting passes off peacefully amid minor hiccups. All those are stories that you can get yourself from.
Most importantly is our neighbors are going to the polls today in Tanzania. That is the highlight in the East African community or member states, because one of our members, they're having their presidential and of course parliamentary elections today. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Now, let's have a short break. We'll be coming back with the real. Save the number 0709602592 so that you share your 2 cents with us as we delve deep into the conversation that will come thereafter. After you enjoy Ndi, pardon me, the song is titled Ndi by Rowena Birunji. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. You are watching UBC TV. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. It's a cold Wednesday morning, one that started off with light showers, but hopefully you are able to wake up and start your day. Robert Chiramo Nyonyitono and myself are here to make sure that you start your day inspired and informed at the same time. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has appointed Lino Anguzu, the new Director of Public Prosecutions. Anguzu, who has been serving as Assistant DPP, replaces Justice Jane Francis Abodo, who was recently appointed Judicial Principal Judge. A communication from the Senior Presidential Press Secretary, Sando Walusimbi, The president has forwarded Anguzu's name to Parliament's Appointments Committee for vetting and approval. Once approved, Anguzu will assume leadership of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the body mandated to direct, control and supervise criminal prosecutions on behalf of State House. Now, moving on to East Africa, that is the rest of East Africa. Tanzania has the polls today. Tanzania will vote today in an election that President Samia Suluhu Hassan is expected to win after candidates from the two leading opposition parties were barred from standing. In addition to the presidential election, voters will choose members of the country's 400-seat parliament and a president and lawmakers in the semi-autonomous Zanzibar archipelago. Now, the presidential vote will be held without the leading opposition party, Chadema, whose leader Tundu Lissu is on trial for treason charges he denies. The Electoral Commission disqualified Chadema in April after it refused to sign an electoral code of conduct. The commission also disqualified Luhaga Mpina, the candidate for the second largest opposition party, ACT Wazalendo, after an objection from the Attorney General, leaving only candidates from minor parties taking on Hassan. Hassan's CCM, whose predecessor party led the struggle for independence for mainland Tanzania in the 1950s, has dominated national politics since its founding in 1977. The Election Commission says it will announce the results within 3 days from Election Day, and the polls open at 4:00 GMT and close at 1300 GMT. Hassan, whose posters dominate towns and villages, has been traversing the country of around 68 million people, and she has boasted about expanding road and railway networks and increasing power generation capacity. In her next term, she has promised to prioritize hiring more teachers, and Hassan won plaudits after coming to power in 2021 for easing repression of political opponents and censorship that proliferated under her predecessor, John Magufuli, who died in office. In fact, Tanzanians believe that this election is more of, it's not really a contest, it's just a coronation in their words, and that is a report according to the BBC. But in other stories, the hotel where National Unity Platform presidential candidate Mr. Robert Chagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, where he's staying in Liras City, was raided by security forces. Tembo Trek Courts, located in Liras City, West Division, was surrounded by military and police officers who reportedly broke into several rooms and pepper sprayed occupants, including hotel staff and Mr. Chagulanyi. And according to sources inside the hotel, the security personnel began the raid at around 9:30 p.m. This particular story is as of the Daily Monitor, and of course on all social media platforms, it's quite a story that's on the streets of the netizens in Uganda. But good morning. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. I'm not alone. Like I mentioned earlier, I am with Robert Chirabo Yonyitana. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for choosing to wake up with us this morning. Now, Tanzanian today will go to the polls, the Tanzanians. My question is, this is a race where no one is chasing. So should we call that a race? Is there any competition in this world? But, of course, these are issues of Tanzanians. I've taken long to hear of a presidential election where someone has no competitor. I've taken long.
Well, there are competitors, but they're just rather weak parties.
We are saying the strong ones because yes, if Chadema is not in this election.
Definitely, so there is no strong opposition.
And if you look at, it's like, well, I don't want to talk about my country in that way, but of course there are people you would know that if they're the ones that were racing against the incumbent, it would be victory obvious. I don't see anywhere where Samia Suluhu can lose this election. I don't see it anywhere, and I doubt if the competitors, not to undermine the mean match in this competition.
Indeed, that's why the narrative.
If Chadema had a candidate, if ACT had a candidate there, you would say yes, this is a race.
Indeed.
But it is the Tanzanians, and we pray for peace and successful elections.
Indeed.
Also yesterday, we had a Victoria University host there and held their 9th graduation ceremony at Speak Resort Munyonyo. And for me, one of the highlights was the All-Star song tribute to Rajiv Ruparelia. The Stars came with a song tribute to Rajiv Ruparelia. We saw Papa Sudhu Ruparelia was there, the Chancellor of Victoria University, Professor Lawrence Muganga. So many dignitaries were at that function. But that song, the moment how everyone kept quiet, and you would feel the legacy. You would see the legacy of Rajiv Ruparelia take possession of the room at that moment. We will continue to pray for the family. Of course, every time these things happen, of course, the memories come back.
Definitely.
That the Lord may continue strengthening them. Of course, candidates are still moving around, promising this and that, and we continue to thank and urge Ugandans to remain very peaceful, and security agencies also. You know, let's promote peace. Let's promote calm. Let's avoid incidents of provocation by both the security forces sometimes and also the electorate. Yesterday I saw a clip where someone was pushing the head of a police officer.
Oh.
You know, and that is from some camp, a prominent music producer. He pushed the head of this police officer holding a gun. I saw another incident where a young man holding stones threw to a police officer who has a gun. Now, us also the electorate, let's refrain from acts of provocation. Security, let's also, I know you have to be professional, but there are certain things that I think at such a time that we are in as a country, if we can avoid them and still life continues, let it be. I've seen areas where they have blocked the NUP candidate, but then thereafter, police withdraws. I may not have the details why they then later withdraw, because they are the professionals in that field, but you see that in case they engaged or persisted, things would not have been that very good. I've seen also this have also. So we want to move like that, so that these prophets of doom who used to say after the primaries we had with NRM, wait for what is going to happen during campaigns, we pray that these things do not happen. But it takes you, me on this TV set, what I speak, you what you speak, how you handle yourself, how each Ugandan presents and thinks of this country at such a time, to have peaceful campaigns that will transit into peaceful elections.
Right, very true indeed. Meanwhile, the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, in partnership with the Uganda Police, did shut down a mini factory operating illegally on the rooftop of Naiga Plaza in Chikubo after discovering large quantities of counterfeit paint disguised as popular brands.
survive on information from the public and take action. They are relatively thin, UNBS staff, compared to the level of how the informal sector is growing in this country. Because as they are growing, yes, there are also those bad apples. But also, the fact that we don't have professional, very few people in the construction industry for example, paint, are using professionals. Let me tell you, Judy, there are many young boys and many young girls that have graduated with bachelors in architect, we have civil engineers and all this. But Ugandans, we do not want to employ professionals.
Right. You
tell someone, because a professional, because this is their business. This is something they went to school and did for some time. Not this campaigning, engineer, 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 you know. One of the sectors that have been challenged is also the construction sector. Everyone is an engineer today. A young boy, you saw 3 years doing things you don't understand on someone's site, maybe even just shaping the landscape. 10 years down the road, you find him being called an engineer. 3 years, you go to someone's house, engineer, he's that person. It's like journalism as well today. Everyone with a phone is, I'm a journalist, I'm a journalist. They forget people who go and study and understand this is a profession. Now you go and employ such.
Right.
So, because we do not have professionals, for example, paint is a very dangerous thing because it contains a metal. Some call it a chemical, but it's called lead.
Lead.
Now, this is very dangerous to human life. It is a cause of so many diseases, also associated to some cancers. There may not be scientific evidence saying that it's the most cause, but you're at risk. Lead, we even have bodies that are globally advocating for elimination of lead. Now, that substance that keeps the paint to stick. Now, for people who are not professional, manufacturing things in any way, you don't know the quantities of lead they are putting in this paint.
Right.
But remember, professional will know. Let me look, will bother to find out this paint we are using. Will bother all these things because they want to produce work that has been professionally done. For us, we rush at whoever is there. He built for so-and-so, the house was painted. Which paint did you use? That's that one. Send me your engineer. The engineer comes in the morning, a border draws for you some. This house will be finished. We must learn to employ professionals as Ugandans.
Indeed, as it is, cheap things are always expensive. Now, getting into a bit of your comments. Good morning, UBC. I'm Mukisa Alan from Chengera Town. Council, the problem we have in Uganda is corruption. We have concerned citizens. We have information about counterfeit products, gear oil, waraji, polythene bags. But who is to be given this information? Because these people are connected with police officers and people from UNBS. They are not on a payroll. This is Mokisa Alan who expresses this. Good morning, guys. Great job to the authorities on cracking down on counterfeit goods. Manufacturing fake paint is not only illegal, but also poses serious risks to consumers. Hope the law takes its course. The culprits face justice. This is Humphrey Marufu in Munyonyo. Julie and Robert, good morning. Thank you for the show. I'm Chigwe Livingstone Subuga, councillor to be Mutungo Ward. The issue of counterfeit goods on market are produced by the very people who regulate quality, UNBS. I have several reasons to accuse UNBS because it's their daily duties to ensure that we have quality goods on the market. When you contact these people who produce counterfeit goods, you will find them with certified documents.
I don't have his evidence presented, but I'm going to speak with my experience in the field of journalism over years. At least I covered a number of, I spent a long time covering crime only. That was my beat. You know, in journalism, you have beats. Yeah. That's where the newsroom had appointed me. And I remember every operation, most of the operations, I was one of the reporters who were there, either accompanying them or cases at police, because every day I had to have stories in that field. So that was my daily bread. Now, one thing I want to disagree, though I said I don't have his evidence on table, that counterfeits, people who produce these counterfeit products are actually the people who are supposed to fight counterfeit. That I did not see it in my time. The challenge is these people are thin on ground. That is one thing I want to tell you. Today, people are producing candles, people are making paint, many people. There is so much. Ugandans, everyone is looking for ways to survive. Now, when you look at the staff, the enforcement, the surveillance of UNBS, and the productivity and entrepreneurship of Ugandans, they are thin on ground. Let's first accept that. They rely on us to give them information. 2, I cannot say no to corruption. Because indeed, yes, there is corruption. But I've not seen incidents where these people have been called upon, given the right information, the power of media today, and they do not take action. I remember there's a time they told us, journalists, you're our eyes. You just get a clip, post it, and action is taken. So I don't want to believe that unless it produces his evidence. But I want to say for tendencies of corruption, maybe those can be in there. Everywhere there are rotten tomatoes sometimes. But them being the same people engaging in that, I disagree with. Corruption elements that can be there. And when it comes to police do a very good job. That we want to thank them. But of course, like I said, there are some elements who would try and protect. But remember, you have UNBS and you have police. So, as Ugandans, let's not become complacent of certain things, corruption, police. Let's perform our noble role. We are losing taxes. We are exposing our lives to danger. In these many counterfeit products, women today are getting skins that are like those of crocodiles. Some women, because of people who are manufacturing things they don't understand. And a young girl will tell you, Robert, I bought this, I didn't know. You check the product, who manufactures it. You go to the genuine company, they say this is not our brand, So we need to save lives. It's not something we should become complacent and say, this is Uganda, Uganda, this is it, it happens. We need to fight some of these things. We need to fight them.
Right. Indeed, away from the sarcasm, we need to join the fight and
Let me give you a simple example. One of my friends told me he was going to buy paint that at the same time was repellent to mosquitoes. I know there could be a genuine paint that does that.
Right.
Now, he was going to paint his child's bedroom. They had a baby boy with that paint. After a period of time, this boy developed issues with the respiratory system. When they went to the doctor and they had to invest a lot of money, they found out that there was something he was constantly inhaling. Constantly. The doctor said, and it had to take them a lot of money. A lot of tests were carried out constantly. And the doctor said, but this boy cannot be a smoker at this age. An infant. Later they discovered it was the paint that they were using. Now, Uganda, sometimes you want to take legal action on certain things. Now they had to change the entire paint. And over time, the boy is getting better. So these are not things we should play with. Today we are talking about paint. But when there are so many counterfeit products, within your vicinity, there are people manufacturing these things. Within your locality, your neighborhood, please, let's report these people so that the government can get the taxes, but also because they are very dangerous. Electrical appliances, these bulbs we are using today, are you aware there are some people who get those when a bulb is out of service? For them, they will get that, do some repair, they are selling them as genuine ones. And Ugandans love cheap things. Now as you're moving around, bulb. You look at a bulb that you bought, say 25,000. These big bulbs that you can, I didn't carry one to show. Now for you, you're buying it at 15,000. Say, where did you get these bulbs? There's some site. Now this, Ugandans even buy stolen things. Some Ugandans, Julie well knowing, You're building a house, your neighbor is buying iron bars you're bringing. Because I was telling them, so people end up buying these bulbs. As you're having it in your, or on your wall or somewhere, you hear the thing exploding. What has happened to the bulb? So we need to fight these things and not be complacent.
Last year, I lost money 3 times due to fake Plascon paint, moreover from different hardwares. This is Johnson Muhumuza who has expressed this. Phillips from Karamoja, good morning. That is a Uganda. We are.
If it is we are, it is us to change our country. The white man is not going to come and change this country. It starts with you being dedicated.
I do agree with you.
Yes.
Good laws in place, highly learned technical personnel employed by UBS. There's also UNBS police. And so why should we have counterfeit goods in the country, manufactured in the country? Who is to blame? Invite their executive director to face the citizens. This is Phillips from Karamoja. Thank you for that.
I can assure him we shall do our best next week.
Yes.
Unless it turns down our invitation.
Yes.
But from this show, we shall talk to our producer. Next week, he will be with us unless he turns down our invitation.
Right. Now, this conversation has to come to a close, but indeed, counterfeit products are all over the place. It goes as far as curry powder that we use to cook in our food. Recently, I was somewhere, still within Chikubo, by the way, and, you know, someone was trying to sell curry powder, and they were telling me, this is for 100 shillings, but this is for 300 shillings, which same brand.
Now let me tell you,
same brand.
Let me tell you, for us, the farmers,
why exactly should curry powder have the same brand, same amount, same packaging, but one is less costly than the other? And he was like, hey, no Kampala. No, let
me tell you, I went to buy animal feeds for my animals. Now, you know maize brand?
Yes.
Maize brand, when you hold it, it's a bit thick. Now, you know sawdust? As they are cutting, there's that, leave alone this people, but that impumbu.
The husks.
Not the husks, sawdust. It's like powder that comes when carpenters. Now, where I buy feeds for my animals, I noticed there was a tukutuku that was bringing sawdust. Now, my mind told me, how do you have sawdust? I later recognized that what I was buying as maize brand had sawdust or was sawdust. Now, when I went to buy iron blood, I later recognized these people were selling us chorus. You know this stomach thing, the black? They were squeezing it. And this is how far we've gone. You're buying animal feeds, you're thinking you're taking maize brand, they are giving you sawdust. Sawdust. All mixed. So
glory to God, justice is served. Let's pray for continued protection and wisdom for our authorities. This is Humphrey Marufu, who is in Munyonyo. Now, Robert, I will ask a question. What do you think happens to Chikubo? Because Chikubo is the place that is being cited as an example, just from the story that we read of counterfeit paint. The rooftop of the building is in Chikubo. Myself, I won't lie, when I was trying to do that shopping of curry powder, and someone tells me outrightly that, hey, this is no Kampala. Still, it was in Chikubo. Some of the examples we've seen come through, still the examples come. Counterfeit products are all over the country. But what do you think happens to that business center, which obviously contributes to the country's tax generation a whole lot? And moving forward, given that particular case of counterfeit paint, I believe more will happen. But what happens? Aren't people's businesses, especially those who are authentic, being put in danger?
Of course, those are authentic, the Plascons, the Sadolins, the companies, these people who are having counterfeit and getting their sales purporting that these were genuine companies. They are affected because now, as we speak about it, people are going to be worried. If I'm buying this brand, am I sure this is not the one that was? So they have to come out as companies themselves, use the media, come to UBC, invest. This is so sad, but it has happened. How someone can differentiate a genuine product manufactured by you and a fake one, or have some features. Like today, government has enhanced the national ID to have more features. If you look at the new ID, Judy, the photo is like, it's inside in, so you must have some additional features. You may have to invest more, and publicize those so that other people know how to differentiate. For the Chikubo, of course, counterfeit would run to Chikubo because it's the hub of business. Now, here UNBS and URA must continuously carry out operations, carry out instant operations, not informing these people so that they can go and either shop by shop look at these products,
now,
but with a good aim.
The
I must emphasize
that you are looking at on your screen is a video of how ginets that are being sold on the streets of Kampala are prepared. They are prepared using acid. They are not cooked the way we kukalanga the traditional way, but rather acid is poured into them, as you can see, and they are ready within an instant. In just about a minute or two, the ginets are ready as prepared by acid and packed and sold on the streets of Kampala. And those are the ginets you and I and everyone else buys every single day off of the streets and consumes every day. 500 shillings, you know, most of it is for measurements, you know, as little as you can handle in your pocket. But at the end of the day, 500 shillings is costing you a whole cost on your health. I
remember one time I was asking the head of corporate affairs, UEDCL, why transformer oil is being stolen. And he told me, and some reports had already indicated that people are using it to fly the chips.
Wow.
That you eat these street chips, you know. So, first let's call upon Ugandans. Let's love one another. Let's love our country. Because much as we call upon enforcement, you know, these institutions, we may castigate them, but they can't be everywhere. Let's be vigilant. Let them come to the public. How do they add? How do we report to them? Because
right.
I think there is a problem with some Ugandans. You can't do that.
Indeed.
You can't do that.
Anyways,
it's very dangerous.
This conversation has to come to its end, but we continue to call upon UNBS, URA, but also leaders of the business community, you know, the Kasita, the Thaddeus Mosoke, the whole group that leads the Basubuzi, many of whom operate in Chikubo, to come out and fight against these people who are spoiling their business. Because, I mean, Chikubo is a great business hub. Lots of people are benefiting. Why should few tomatoes, rotten at that, spoil the business hub of the CBD? Thank you so much for being on the show. Let's have a look at what today's campaign schedule looks like with the presidential candidates. Uganda goes to the polls 2026. Candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Nabita Luke and Nakapiripirit today, the 29th of October, and he's representing the NRM party. Candidate Kasivante Robert of the NPP will be in Jinja and Jinja City. Now, candidate Mujisha Gregory Muntu of the Ant party will be in Kabarole, and candidate Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert of the Nup party will be in Abim and Kotido. Candidate Nandala Nathan Mafabi is taking some time off to rest. He hadn't yet rested since the campaigns began, and he's representing the FDC party. Munyagwamu Barak of the CMP party is in Rokunjiri today. Candidate Bulira Frank is in Busia representing RPP, and candidate Maberizi Joseph of the CP party is in Butaleja Tororo, who will be the next president of Uganda. For now, thank you so much for watching the show. GMU Tourism Express is up next. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Shikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Immaculate Heart Girls School near Chibale, and previously we just took you inside the museum, but right about now we are outside, and this is partly where these students get to also learn skills. This is Drive to Culinary Tourism, and we are yet to just dive into that. Good morning and welcome on the GMU Tourism Express. My name is Zakia Lucky. We have a number of items here, and this is a process, I'm told, that is going to take us to the final product, Kalo, that many of you have tested but do not know how this actually goes, how this is made and how it goes about, plus the products that are used to make this. With me is one of the students that is a part of the process, and she's going to be telling us what items or what is even taking place here. Please tell us about the process.
The items we need are a mortar and pestle, we need millet, then cassava, then entemere, the so-called baskets, then entire, those are winnowing baskets, and then a pot, orico, that is
Mingling stick,
then endio, those are baskets. Yes.
Yes, so those are items that you need in the process. So take us through the process, starting from the very first one until we get to the final product.
So the first process is pounding, and in pounding, what is required is the pestle and the mortar. We pound the millet and then transfer it to the winnowing baskets. Yes, to the winnowing baskets. You winnow, then again transfer to the basket.
Is this the pounding process that
pounding
you talk about?
Process.
Okay, from here, then we know what they are doing.
Winnowing process.
Okay.
Yes, and after winnowing, you roast the millet. We roast in order to add flavor to the millet bread. Then after roasting, we transfer to the grinding stones, yes. After grinding, the millet flour is transferred to a basket, which is either used for keeping the flour or taking it to the cooking place. Yes, and then the cassava, you dry it, and then you pound it as well. After pounding it, you also roast it separately, and thereafter you mix the cassava flour and the millet flour, and thereafter you boil water. After boiling, prepare millet bread. The ratio of millet to cassava is 1:2, meaning that the cassava is supposed to double the amount of the millet flour, because the cassava adds to the thickness of the millet bread.
I've tasted this a number of times, but I'm just learning that these two are actually mixed together. I always thought it's just millet. Well, we are now going to the preparation process, since we've gotten a chance to see how these other processes get to start, just from pounding and then to the winnowing stage. And here, just before us, is flour that is ready to be placed in water, like she said. Head there with us, and then let's see how the mingling is done.
that's the way it's called, the mingling. She can do it from there.
We are right in with the process. Maybe you can explain to us what you're doing here.
So right now, I am moving, and you add flour to the water. After picking some little water from the one that had boiled, so that in case the millet becomes too thick, you add the water.
Three times.
But does the mingling require a lot of energy? Because it looks lipstick.
Yes, it does.
And it's
Are you doing it for the first time?
No.
You talked about getting to understand that it's ready by the sound that it starts to produce, and the sound is already being heard. Does that mean it's ready?
No. Yes, because it can still stick on the hands if you try to touch it.
Okay. So there you're trying to test if it is ready by not sticking on the...
okay.
The process got even more interesting when we got to the final part of preparation. I got a chance to also learn the skill myself, and more interesting even when students took a part in this. You heard from them, some of them are doing it for the first time, others have learned something from home, and others have learned from here. The most bit was about culinary tourism, and it has been a transformation from just exploring other foods. But right about now, it was about the Ugandan foods. And when we got back to what we've been doing in the foods and nutrition, we've been doing other foods, and now it has been an experience. And not to forget, this was also part of the museum that is in our background. Stick around, we are coming back with another segment. We are still exploring what's in the school museum at Immaculate Girls.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome back from JMU Tourism Express. One of our engineers here was asking me if I enjoy Kalo. I do enjoy Kalo. So much so. Words cannot even express how much I enjoy it. But for me, that was an episode to indeed enjoy. Welcome back. It's time for JMU Business Today. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And right before JMU Tourism Express, we were having a conversation on counterfeit products based on the story of the Uganda National Bureau of Standards in partnership with the Uganda Police that shut down a mini factory operating illegally on the rooftop of Naiga Plaza in Chikubo after discovering large quantities of counterfeit paint disguised as popular brands. Now, somebody did comment and said that even those expensive wines and liquors in big bars, they have both fake and original. UNBS needs to visit these bars, especially in the peak hours of their operation, you will see what will happen. Thank you so much for being on the show. Now, today's business has a bit of a twist. Let's start off with what we have on the Forex rates as of 28th October 2028. The US dollar opened at 3,473.86 and was selling at 3,484.86. By midday, it was at 3,474.50 and selling at 3,484.50. The dollar closed in at 3,471.09, a drop there as of 27th, and selling at 4,651.95. The British pound was buying at 4,638.59, an increase from the previous one, and selling at 4,651.95. The euro was buying at 4,048.67, an increase from there in value as well from the previous one, and selling at 4,060.34. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 26.86, a drop. Slight drop there from the previous one, and selling at 26.94. The Tanzanian shilling increased to 1.40 and selling at the same, and the South African rand buying at 201.51 and selling at 202.09. Now, with that report from the Forex rates, let's look at a story on the 11th of October 2025. The tranquil beauty of Sese Island in Uganda transformed into a hub of compassion, teamwork, and impact. It was a day marked by unity and service as the Rotaract Club of Kampala Sese Islands, in collaboration with the Rotaract Club of Nairobi Central, the Rotaract Club of Ndeje University, and the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands came together for a community project organized by the Rotaract Club of Kampala Sese Island. The heart of the initiative was the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a maternity ward in Mulabana, a small community in Sese Islands. For years, residents had relied on a health center too that serves the entire area, often leading to congestion and limited access to quality health care, especially for expectant mothers. The new maternity ward is envisioned as a safe haven, a place where mothers can access proper, adequate medical attention during pregnancy and childbirth without having to travel long distances or endure unsafe conditions. Kalangala consists of 84 islands. 56 of these have no health centers. In that, many patients have to cross over from one island to another in search of healthcare. It should be noted that Kalangala district has no referral hospital, but instead 15 health centers, and according to the Ministry of Health norms, to adequately cover its population of 54,100, it should have a total of 16 health centers. Mulabana Health Center 2 serves 6 densely populated landing sites, but lacks a dedicated maternity ward, forcing expectant mothers to travel over 7 kilometers to Bwendero Health Center 3 or further to Kalangala Health Center 4. The day was as well filled with meaningful activities that touched lives in multiple ways. A free medical camp was set up to serve the residents of Mulabana, offering basic health checkups, for example, dentistry, blood checkup, optical clinic, pharmacy services, and medical consultations, which saw a turn-up of over 600 members. The team also visited St. Victor Primary School, Mulabana, and had a discussion focused on self-confidence, education, hygiene, where they further supplied with the girls with menstrual sanitary towels. Now, that's it for business. Let's continue looking into the story of the Rotaract and Rotary clubs as they paid homage to the community of Mulabana in Kalangala. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, coming back with the agenda. Good morning.
Hello, my name is Asume Maria, President Rotaract Kampala Sese Islands. I'm so happy to be at Mulabana. This is a project that we started a while ago So we have a system where we adopt the village and then find the different needs and then work towards those needs. So this particular year, we are laying a foundation for a maternity ward, but also we are doing a medical camp, and it's happening now. So we have partnered with our mother club, that is the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands, our sister club, that is Ndeje University, and then RCNC, Nairobi Central. They travel all the way from Nairobi to come through for the greater cause. So we are looking at treating about 1,000 people, and we have different people, different doctors, different nurses, and then we also have menstrual hygiene. We carried some pads for the different girls, teaching them about how they can stay clean, and then we carried some scholastic materials for the students as well. We carried some tents. We have checkups, different things, just to support the community of Mulabana. So quite a lot is happening. So currently we had a clothing drive where we are having a campaign, clean a closet and fill the heart. So we are giving out clothes to quite a number of people, and people are really excited and people have turned up. So we expect at the end of the day we shall have treated around 800 people to 1,000. Thank you so much for the support, and may the Lord bless you.
My name is Kevin Agaba, Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands. Today we are here at Mulabana landing site in Kalangala district, Sese Islands, to construct a foundation. Last year we had groundbreaking, and this year we focused on our phase 1, which is construction of the maternity ward, and we are looking at the foundation for now as phase 1, and it's already ongoing. We are on ground as you can see. We are doing the construction. It has kick-started, and here we are again asking for your support, asking for your contributions to contribute our project.
Okay, so today the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands, in partnership with the Rotaract Clubs of Kampala Sese Islands, Rotaract Club of Ndeje University, and Rotary Club of Nairobi Central, have partnered to do a medical camp in Mulabana in the Sese Islands. It has been a successful camp. We've had so many people coming in getting treatment for dental, normal GP, legal clinic. We've had so many activities, including sessions for the boy child and the girl child in so many ways. So we've really impacted on the community. And now we are at the site of the maternity ward that is going to be built at the Mulabana Health Center 2. This maternity ward will eventually see this facility upgraded to a Health Center 3. As part of our activities, we've laid the foundation stone, and the building is going on. This is phase 1, which is the foundation building, and we hope that this will be done and completed within 2-3 months.
Jonathan Kasami is my name, the President-elect of the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands. I'm here to thank our long-term partners, the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands. I'm here to thank the office of the RDC, Residence District Commissioner, led by Mr. Fred Butter, who also happens to be a Rotarian. I thank them so much for the mobilization they always do for our projects. Because of them, we are able to attract over 500 people to come for such a medical camp and receive services which they would not receive elsewhere. I also thank Mulabana Health Center 2. We have walked this journey with them for the past 5 years, and as you can see right now with phase 5, we are able to start laying the foundation to elevate their Health Center 2 to Health Center 3.
My name is Athaire David, and I'm the immediate past president of the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands, and in the district I serve as the public image chair. So today we are gathered here at St. Victor Primary School, and as you would know, this has been a journey. Last year we were in this same place and we were offering integrated services, medical services. Same day today we are here again to reach out to the community and to serve them with the different medical services ranging from dentistry. We are having different ailments that have been treated today. But the main project and maybe the main gap is still at the construction side, whereby we're still building, and we cannot do this without all hands coming on deck. We are having the district that has helped us by giving us the designs, and right now we're looking at resource mobilization through corporate companies, even through club members. But this cannot be done alone. We need you out there. If you can come and also be part of this journey that we are doing as we construct the Mulabana Health Center too, maternity ward. And we believe that if we realize this vision and goal together, we're going to leave a smile on the people of Mulabana. Over 40,000 people are being served by that health center, and we believe that of those, the pregnant women who are going to be coming to the health center, they're going to be served with better maternal and child health related services.
The reason we are here helping the needy in Kampala Sese Island is because first, the Twin Club came to help us in Kajiado when we had our launch of My Litisa project, and it only makes sense to reciprocate the love. You showed us love in Kenya, we came to show you love here. And at the end of the day, the demographic is the same. All of them are women, they're all children, they're elderly, and they're needy and they need help. So if you have the opportunity to help, we come and we help. Yeah. Traveling from Nairobi to Kampala has been very fun. We came with a bus and we even got to use the ferry, and it was so much fun. The experience was out of this world. We sat together, we bonded, we had fun, we were laughing, and then we came to the island. We didn't know the island was a bit far from Kampala, but the accommodation has been amazing, the meals are good, the team is amazing, and I think our favorite hangout joint right now is Minj. That is where we have now the evening party today, so it's been amazing so far.
Today in this camp here at Mulabana, we have conducted a menstrual hygiene and motivational activity for the girls of P7, P6 and P5 upper primary school, to speak to them on three major topics. One, motivate them to perform better and be better as girls and women in future. Two, menstrual hygiene activity, to give them kits, reusable kits, and also sanitary towels to help them so that they can keep them in school. We have focused mainly on P7 candidate girls, because you know they are going for exams. We want them to have a seamless examination time when they are well equipped for their menstrual periods, so they don't miss exams because of that.
My name is Asimwe Annette, acting in charge here at Mulabana Health Center 2. First of all, we want to thank our bosses. We want to thank the DHO, the CAO, for allowing this additional service by the Rotary. Here at Mulabana Parish, we have 6 landing sites. So we thank so much the Rotary Club for these additional services they are giving us, because we've been having out of stock drugs. So they come with very many drugs, good drugs that are treating our people in the catchment area we are serving. We thank them so much, for they built us a shed, they built us a pit latrine, and they are also going to start. They have already started building the maternity wing. We have not been delivering at the moment. We have only been handling emergencies. For those women who come and they cannot go beyond, we have been trying to handle them. But we had not yet started delivering mothers at the moment. So we are having the Rotary Club. We give you a vote of thanks. We thank you so much, because they are setting up a maternity wing, meaning that we are going to be equipped and are going to start delivering our mothers. Thank you so much.
UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get